Hello and welcome to the Barry V Show. I'm Barry Vanover and this is my compadre Miles Baker. We are here to answer the questions you have asked. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions, and we're going to do our best to answer them. We got some great questions from several different school owners today, but first I want to let you know that this show is sponsored by Fuji Mats. Of course, Fuji has long supplied great jiu-jitsu and judo uniforms and MMA supplies and customized different apparel, but they also now sell high-end quality matting for your martial arts flooring. Call Jimmy Pedro's team at Fuji if you want the rock bottom lowest prices for the highest quality mats in the industry. Mention my name, Barry Vanover, and mention the coupon code APEX, that's APEX, and Jimmy's team will take care of you guys. All right, let's go ahead and get started with some questions.
All right, so our first question for this week, Sean W. asked, how do you handle a misbehaving student in your class?
How to handle misbehaving students in class? Well, I'm guessing that you're talking about a student that's misbehaving in general terms, meaning they're not focusing, maybe they're not showing enthusiasm and they're not doing what you say, or they have too much enthusiasm and they're trying to punch and kick the little girl's ponytail in front of them, those types of behaviors. So we kind of have a five-step approach. First thing we would do is when we see a child not giving us our desired behavior is we're going to compliment someone in proximity to the child, another student in proximity to the child, and we're going to compliment them on the performance that we're wanting in the troubled student. So let's say Billy's not focusing. So I'm going to go, man, Sarah's standing right beside Billy. I'm going to go, Sarah, man, I noticed today your eyes are on my eyes like laser beams when you're talking. Good job. Everybody give Sarah 2 claps. Boom, boom. So hopefully Billy snaps out of whatever funk he's in, and now he understands what he's supposed to be doing, which is keeping his eyes on the instructor's eyes, and maybe he's striving for that same type of admiration. Now it's just a quick reminder to Billy of what we want him to do. So that's the simple first step, and that works great. Now, if we look back and Billy's still not focusing, or he's apathetic in his movement, or whatever the situation may be, the next step I'm going to do is I bring all the students either to a kneeling position or to a rest stance position, and I'm going to give them a literally 15-second a mat chat, so to speak. I'm going to look at the students and I'm going to say, guys, listen, there's a couple of you that's not focusing very well. You're not blocking out distractions. You're looking out the window. You're looking at the person in front of you, and maybe you're not trying very hard. You only guys that have martial arts class a couple times a week. So to get your next belt, you have to give me 110% the entire 45 minutes in your class. Can you guys all do that for me? All right, let's go. Yes, sir. Boom. Most of the time, that will take care of it. But in this situation, let's say Billy is still misbehaving. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what we would just say an impromptu mat chat. I'm going to go ahead and huddle all the students up in a big semicircle. I'm going to drop down on one knee, and I'm going to do a more extended mat chat over whatever the behavior is that I'm wanting Billy to show. Whether it's focus, I'm going to go in more detail about focus. And while I'm doing this little mat chat, I'm going to give Billy lots of eye contact and even give him the eyebrow raise when I have to, just like that, right? To let Billy know, hey, dude, I'm not pointing you out, but I'm kind of talking about you. And that's going to last 30, 45 seconds, right? And then I'm going to get everybody up and put them back in their spaces, and I'm going to keep continuing. All the things that I've just said, even that impromptu mat chat, your parents are going to love that you'll stop an entire class to provide that discipline that the parents are looking for their child, that you care enough to do that. That's going to be beneficial for all the students, the behavior Billy, let's say, and the parents are going to love it as well. Now, if Billy is still not giving us the desired behavior, he's becoming a little bit of a problem to my class now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the students in a rest stance position. That's with their feet spread apart and hands behind your back. I'm going to go over to Billy one-on-one, and I'm going to give Billy a verbal correction. And everybody's going to hear me probably a little bit, though I'm going to whisper. And I'm going to go over to Billy, and I'm going to just simply tell him exactly what I need him to do and what's going to happen if he doesn't. So I'm going to go to Billy, and I'm kind of big brother love. Hey, listen, Billy, I've tried a couple times. You're not focusing today. You must be are you having a bad day, long day at school? Listen, I need you to give me a little bit more effort, and I need you to pay attention when I'm teaching class, okay? If you're wanting to get that next belt or that next stripe, this is what I need to happen, okay? Now, if you don't do that, I'm going to set you out for a while with Mom, beside her, and you're going to watch class, okay? Can you do this for me? Let's snap this back up, okay? Let's do this. High five? Okay, we're still buddies, right? All right, let's do this. Boom, and you go back to teaching class. But now all the other students know what you did. They know that you went over in proximity with Billy. They know you're whispering and probably talking to him. They kind of know somebody's getting in trouble. So in this situation, this is kind of a good thing, because once you do that a couple times, the students never want you to come over and give them a one-on-one verbal correction, so to speak. And then the fifth thing, if that didn't take care of Billy, then I got to follow through with my word, and I've got to go over and I've got to pull Billy out of class, set him beside mom, which if mom is worth her salt as a parent, what is she doing during that time? She's verbally correcting Billy, letting him know what's going to happen when he gets home if he doesn't straighten up. Now, when I pull Billy out and take him with mom, I want to make sure that I tell mom, now listen, don't leave. I'm going to try to get him back in class. But I've tried several times, and now he's disrupting my class. So I've tried several times to bring him back to, whatever the desired correction is. And I'm trying to bring him back in class because you want it to be positive. So I'll start teaching the class, and then eventually I'll work my way back around. I'll look at Bill and I'm like, you ready? Let's go. Come on back in. Right, and get him back in. And then I also want to talk to him. If I ever yank them out of class, I want to talk to him and the parent at the end of the class. I want to make it positive, but I want to understand that this is part of our process. This is part of the learning. Billy, you're going to do better next time, right? Okay, good job. We're buddies. That type of energy. Okay, now if you got to pull a kid out of class 2 or 3 times, you got a bigger problem on your hand. Now, honestly, the number of times in 20 years of teaching martial arts, the number of times that I pulled kids out of class, I could count on one hand. It just doesn't happen. Usually those other steps take care of it. But that is kind of our 5-step approach to handling a student that is not giving us our desired behavior.
So just a quick recap would be, 1 was proximity praising.
Yep.
Praise the kids next to them that's doing the things that you want them to do. 2 would be a general class correction, if you will, with a little bit of eye contact to the child who's not giving you what you want. And 3rd would be a more intimate huddle them up, lock them up, mat chat,
Yep.
going over that, lots of eye contact on the kid giving you trouble. Then if it proceeds, a one-on-one, everybody else is in rest stance, you're over there telling them, hey, you're going to have to sit out. And then the last thing, as you mentioned, was sitting them out and never in class with them out, and always end on a good note. All right,
Exactly.
so nice.
Let mom help us. At that point, we're letting mom help us
Right.
with the correction. Because we're not parents, and we've got 40, 50 kids in class sometimes.
Yeah.
We can't handle a kid that just don't want to be corrected or is having major problems. We got to remove him and let mom do a little
She's
bit of
doing her
parenting
job,
herself.
right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Let her do her job.
And so I think that's great, because as we travel and see a lot of schools, we see a lot of things that it's just not the right way. It's not the old school way of discipline anymore for kids when we have this many kids in our schools. So, don't do push-ups. Push-ups are good for us. We should want to do push-ups, right? Don't
make it a good thing. A negative.
Don't embarrass them in front of kids and the rest of the people, so they don't want to come back. So yeah, I think that's really important.
And those 5 steps were all positive.
Yes.
High energy,
Yeah.
positive, big brotherly love.
Yeah.
Not barking and yelling and screaming at a kid or embarrassing them or making them do push-ups or horse stance or something in front of people.
So by the time they leave, though things got bad for a second, they leave on a positive note.
Exactly.
Things are good. They're ready to come back and do better. Nice. John C. asked, I think John C. must have asked a couple questions and hadn't got on the show yet. He asked, respectfully, sir, what are your qualifications to have your questions answered on the show?
What are my
Yeah.
qualifications?
So if they ask a question, what are their qualifications for you to answer it?
Well, that's fair enough, I guess. And he was respectful. That's always a good note. I assume, because I've been consulting for 20 years, running martial arts schools for 20 years, was vice president of a martial arts consulting and billing company 15 years ago. I'm president of Premier Martial Arts International, 78 schools all across the country, run the exact same business systems. And I've been doing consulting through Martial Arts Management Group for the past 12 years. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds of schools. And the main thing, if you're wanting to know real qualifications that I have to help you, call some of the Premier Martial Arts school owners or some of our clients. Call me. I'll give you some referrals, and you can talk to the owners that we've actually helped. That's social proof. I can tell you anything, but the experience that I've done to help them kind of is my qualifications for answering these questions. But I understand. I assume that everybody knows me, right? But I guess there's a lot of young school
Every month
owners.
there's new schools opening up, and a lot of young people that just
that
haven't been
open up their
exposed to
first
information.
school, and they're not old like me. They don't know who I am. So that's a fair question. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. The next one, Steve A. asked, for total monthly income of a school, how much should come from your tuition billing check?
Okay. Steve, ask this. You know, Steve, there's no exact answer to that. That becomes a little bit of a philosophy of how you want to do business. There's 5 income generators in every martial arts school. So I will tell you, your tuition is only one part of those 5 income generators. And the situation that should not be happening, that we see so often, when we start working with a new client or somebody's interested in our consulting, we'll do a evaluation, a business consultation, so to speak. And so many times we find out that the students' monthly payments, that monthly tuition, is 90, 95, even 100% of the school's gross revenue every single month. And in that situation, the school is losing out on a lot of revenue because they're not implementing the other 4 income generators. I like to work on the 50-50 scale. If I'm bringing in $25,000 in my tuition billing for one of our locations, I like to try to bring in another $20,000, $25,000 in-house cash. Now, so it doesn't matter, 10, 25, 25, whatever. That's a nice place to be, because now you have a good accounts receivables, which is your tuition billing. That's that security, and that pays all the expenses. And then you've got this awesome cash flow coming in the form of down payments on new memberships, paid in fulls, upgrade paid in fulls, down payments, merchandise sales, testing fees, events. All of that cash flow coming in is just icing on the cake. So that's the real, when you hear schools that are grossing $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, you can pretty much bet that they have a nice balance between accounts receivables, which is tuition payments, and that in-house cash they're ringing up inside that cash register every single month.
Nice. Our next question, this is kind of a tough question, which is Nick C. asks, what is your best tip in providing great customer service to your students? So your best one.
My best tip.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
I have a little different view, I guess, on customer service. You know, everyone thinks having a clean school is great customer service, and it absolutely is. You know, I'll go to some schools and they've got a nice table set up with free coffee for the parents, and that's customer service. You know, having a nice front desk person that's greeting people, that's amazing customer service. But to me, the best customer service that you can provide is finding out what your students and parents are really thinking, so that you can then meet those needs. And the way that we would find out what they're really thinking is we like to do customer service surveys, you know, a couple times a year, to get the opinions of our parents on lots of different things. It gives us lots of data. And then we can better determine, what do they think about our facility, the smell of it, our parking, you know, there's so many different things. We can find out how many people intend on setting a goal for black belt, or how many people is going to renew their membership, because it's a blind survey actually done by our company. So it's a survey not done by the martial arts school. So the parents think this is, which it is, coming from a third party. It is, their questions that they answer are anonymous. We can't tell who they are. So you're getting some really good data. So the best way to service your students is find out what they really want to be serviced on and what their needs really are.
So communication and surveys is a great way to do that. Like
exactly.
You said, anonymous, so you're getting honest feedback, which is nice, and new staff. And I know we've rotated different instructors and had multiple instructors at one school. We can see kind of who's doing well in the eyes of the parents.
It's true. What the parents and students think about your instruction on the classroom floor.
Yeah. That's a tough one to answer face to face to your instructor, but
right
behind a computer screen.
And it's a tough one to even ask the parents, because that's the guy teaching my kids. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but on a blind survey, they're taking on their iPad at home. They'll tell you the real truth.
That's right.
You know, and we also, I don't want to do a commercial for Martial Arts Management Group right now, but we do these surveys for you and implement them and conduct them and analyze the data and give that to you. And we also do program director surveys for that initial first experience and the opinions of people before they've ever joined your school, on everything from pricing, how they heard of your school, what did they think about the program director and his abilities and energy, and was he too salesy? Did he come across friendly and professional? Yeah. All of this stuff is important,
it's a great tool
information.
For a program director trying to get better, or to review every 6 months. You know?
It's a great training tool for them.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Good. Well, that's this week's questions.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I want to leave you guys with the marketing tip of the week, which is again brought to you by martialartsmarketing.com. the website where you can go get all your printing needs for all your ads, brochures, rack cards, anything folders, anything you need in the martial arts industry. And if you don't see something you particularly like, just call us and we'll custom make it for you with your own photographs and logos and all that. What I want to show you guys today is what we call an awesome job card. Now, if you're following our mass intro systems or our presentation program, which means we'll go out into the community and we will see a group of people, whether adults or whether they're kids, whether it's in the individual classrooms or through PE instruction or daycares or Boy Scout meetings and all these Girl Scout meetings and church groups. We'll see a group of people. We'll do a presentation for them and get them excited. Then we'll give them a special card, the Awesome Job Card, that invites them back to our school, either on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock or within a couple days for a special second part of that presentation. Because we're going out in the community and seeing people, but we can't get their name, address, phone number, and email to call them and invite them in for a 2-lesson trial program. So it's like fishing with a net. We got to get as many to come in without actually having the hook or having their contact information. So this is our net that we do. We invite them back. And the cards just simply says, awesome job on your first lesson. Premier Martial Arts, or the name of your school, invite you to our school this Saturday at 10 a.m. to take your second lesson, get a free martial arts uniform, earn your first martial arts belt, and break a real board in front of mom and dad. Pizza and refreshments to follow, right? So now the kids are all excited. Yes, that's an amazing call to action. Some of the kids get excited about the free uniform. Some get excited about the fact that they're going to take a technique that you taught them and they're going to now break a board with it. Some gets excited because the other kids are coming, and some gets excited for free pizza, whatever, sure. Who knows, right? But the point is you have a great call to action to get them to show up at your school at a certain time that now we can control the situation and we can sign them up. You should have these awesome job cards readily available at all times in your school. Never run out of these, because printing something on your computer, let's say that your staff members set up a school talk at a daycare, or the daycare or somebody calls you to see if you could come and talk to their class, and you don't have the cards ready to just grab a handful and go. Now what are you going to do? Verbally tell them? Or you're going to try to create something on your computer and it's going to look terrible? Always have the awesome job cards at your school. More importantly is do our mass intro systems and go out in the community and get your instructors doing these presentations, but you need to have this marketing tool in your studio at all times, okay? And you can get those 5,000 of them super cheap at martialartsmarketing.com. Also at martialartsmarketing.com, don't forget, I think until October 15th, you get 25% off all Halloween promotional materials. In our school system, we just got flyer approval. We can send out Halloween cards to everybody in our entire school system because we put the Halloween safety tips on one side of them. We're going to have our scary special, martial arts special on the other side. You get 25% off by using the coupon code BOO, B-O-O. All right, and that's up till October 15th. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it for this week.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, you can ask your questions on Twitter at #AskBarryV. You can email me at ceo@barryvanover.com your questions, or on our YouTube channel at Martial Arts Management Group. You can go underneath the video and you can ask questions as well. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.